Hi everybody, it's Brian here, back with a look at another GamePro issue. This is from December of 1994, and Donkey Kong Country is in high gear. And you see on the cover here, you have Donkey, Diddy, and Espresso the ostrich. You see this cover is very nice, a very thick issue, much like these later GamePros were in the mid-90s. And they were bound by glue. Instead of the staples of the previous ones, which I hated the staple covers because the covers easily come off. So as on the front you see #1 video game magazine, Donkey Kong Country, free pro strategy guide for Earthworm Jim. Pro reviews in this, you got some good games. You got Super Punch-Out, The Lion King, NHL Hockey 95, Aliens vs. Predators, Echo Tides of Time, Super Return of the Jedi, Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City, and previews you have Snatcher, Street Fighter II Turbo for 3DO, and more. Samurai Showdown for Genesis, SNES, Game Boy, plus Samurai Showdown 2. And you have the Ultra 64 preview, Killer Instinct, for the Ultra 64 and Nintendo 64, and Sega 32X games. So let's open it up and take a look. And you're greeted by the old Bubsy the Bobcat. Shining Force 2 on the Genesis, and also Shining Force on the Game Gear, which I actually have this Shining Force for the Game Gear. It's pretty good. Table of contents. There's a nice Earthworm Jim strategy guide I talked about. We'll get to that. Here's an ad for Double Dragon 5, which was a fighting game. Super, as I mentioned. Super Return of the Jedi. The Macaulay Culkin movie, The Page Master, was out, and here's the video game version of it for the Game Gear, for the Game Boy, Genesis, and Super Nintendo. Plug-in lock-on breakout, only Sega's got it, Sonic and Knuckles, where you could plug in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 on top of the Sonic and Knuckles. Here's the ad for it. The only game too big to fit in a single cartridge. There's the game, and you say lock on Sonic 3, transform floating island into a huge 34 meg Sonic epic, complete with new characters and multiple surprise endings. Then keep it all active with game saves, so you can lock on Sonic 3, lock on Sonic 2. Now you as Knuckles and take advantage of his new sneaky signature moves: climb, glide, play like never before. Save $10 by mail by Lifesavers. Used to have these mail-in coupons back then too. Here you have the mail section. Here's Ed Boon and the creators of Mortal Kombat up here. John Tobias. Let's get technical. When I bought a SNES Game Genie over a year ago, it cost me about $60. The system now is for sale for $99. What happened? Accordingly to Galoob, the company similarly adjusted the price to match the retails of the marketplace. Price cuts like this one happen with every new piece of technology. The magazine biz. Why don't you review Lynx games? My friend and I have Lynxes, and now we don't know what Lynx games to buy because you've stopped rating them. We stopped rating them because Atari stopped making new ones. Lately, we've answered this Same kind of question about games for the NES, Duo, and Neo Geo. Some months there simply aren't any new games to review. Here's Ninja Gaiden 3 for the I always said Gaiden. I'm gonna Ninja Gaiden 3. It's Gaiden, but I always said Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden 3, the last Lynx game we reviewed March 1994. I didn't know Ninja Gaiden was on the Ninja Gaiden was on the Lynx. More great envelope art here. A nice Super Metroid one. Boogerman ad. Here's a little write-up on changing the face of video game design about Donkey Kong Country and how it's and how they use computers to design these graphics. Super Return of the Jedi ad. Hot at the Arcades. Ridge Racer 2. X-Men. A fighting game. I don't remember the X-Men fighting game. I remember X-Men versus Street Fighter. But yeah, they had an X-Men fighting game. The Tick. Mommy, what are those two Sega machines doing? You see the 32X popping into the Genesis. And he's like, oh my gosh. Samurai Showdown for the Genesis. Samurai Showdown for the Super Nintendo. Actually, the Genesis got better ratings. Here's an ad for Interact and by this STD. That's a weird name for a company, but 1994 Super Guide. Have all these controllers by Interact products. Handy Power for the Game Boy, Handy Gear, and the Handy Boy. This attachment that has. I always wanted this, even though I didn't have a Game Boy. I thought this kind of looked cool. Nintendo Win 8 cover features. Donkey Kong's a blast from the past, but Donkey Kong Country's no throwback. See the review scores it got here? Pretty good. Here's about designing Donkey Kong Country and what they had to do. Very crude models by today's standards, but this was top of the line back then. You see a wire frame, then they shaded it with simple shading. And they added texture mapping, very crude texture mapping. But this is, and then they rendered it, and they produced the video or the artwork for the game. And it would take a computer quite a long time to render these compared to today. Back then, this was state of the art. Commit Scumicide, Captain Commando. Special feature on the 32X update. 32X specifications right here. 2 Hitachi 32-bit RISC processors running at 23 megahertz, 40 MIPs. Million pixels per second. I'm not sure what that means. Co-processing Genesis 6800 that uses the Genesis CPU, and a new video digital processor. Graphics rendering at 50,000 polygons per second. Texture mapping hardware, scaling and rotation. 32,786 simultaneous colors. 4 megabits of RAM. Initial cost $160. You're about to take the wildest tour ever. Nothing can stop you. This is the Animaniacs ad right here. Oh wow, this is a big ad. See, wow, this is for Animaniacs, the Animaniacs game, and the Adventures of Batman and Robin. And Biker Mice from Mars, too. And Tiny Toons Adventure Sports and Sparkster on Super NES and Genesis and Super NES and Genesis. And this is a beautiful ad. This is I don't remember this ad, but this is quite the big ad. And these were Konami games. Back then, Konami just pumped out great games. The latest runaway hits from Konami are out. Software Etc. ad. Some 32X games. They had Metalhead and Star Wars Arcade here. Kitty Litter, Itchy and Scratchy game. Holiday Wishes. What was hot for those holidays in 1994? The Jaguar CD, the 3DO, Donkey Kong Country was wanted, Blackthorn for the Super Nintendo, Dynamite Headdy for the Genesis, Disney's Aladdin for the Super Nintendo, Lion King for the Genesis, Phantasy Star 4 for the Genesis, Star Fox 2, where is it? Well, the question is, it never got over here. Got released. Road Rash for the 3DO. Sonic and Knuckles. Super Castlevania 4. Or Super Castlevania 5. Where is it? Well, we didn't get a 5th entry. Or a numbered entry. Number 5. Sega's Younger Side. Pico and Sega Club Software. They had these Sega Club games which were marketed towards younger people. There's an Echo game, Echo Junior. It was one of them I recently got. It's a Sega Sports ad. This is quite the ad here. Echo the Tides of Time. Graphics and sound were good. And the control was okay. And the fun factor was good. The Lion King for the Genesis. Look at graphics and sound. It got just maxed out. Clay Fighter on the Genesis. Oh, looks like this had something sticky on here. See if I can pull this off slowly without ripping it. Because this is a game I've been looking for. Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel. Here we go. And I'll have to take that sticky stuff off so it doesn't stick again. But yeah, got kind of okay review scores. It's made by Sunsoft. Even with its sometimes infuriating controls, this game has lots of lightweight, frivolous fun for intermediate gamers. Take this squirrel out for a spin, and you'll agree that he's a hero, not a zero. Shaq Fu on the Genesis. Got okay scores. Viewpoint on the Genesis. Not very good. They gave it not very good scores. Popful Mail by Working Designs. Generation Lost for the Genesis. Another Working Designs game, Lunar the Silver Star Story. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Maximum Carnage. Kyo Flying Squadron for the Sega CD. Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City. This was like a card, collector's card or something. Kind of weird. Power Ratings, Knuckleball, Ice Ball, Rebounder. Here's a coupon for it, or a contest you can enter. Mickey Mania. Lethal's Enforcers 2 Gunfighters. Super Return of the Jedi. See, it got very good scores. Only George Lucas could get away with making a video game out of a 10-year-old movie. This last installment of the Star Wars video game series has something for everyone, but that's not quite enough hardcore action for hardcore action adventurers. Super Punch-Out! You see it got very good scores here. The Super Game Boy. Star Trek Starfleet Academy. And here's the 14 pages of maps and strategies. This is the Earthworm Jim strategy guys. Save Princess What's Her Name. Once again, GamePro had really good strategy guide features. They'd almost pack in these great strategy guides in. Detailed points here, and it explains about these points on here. Here's a wrestling game, Super Brawl WCW. Here you got Sting, the classic Sting with the face paint. Great wrestler. Still going on today. I think he's about to sign a deal with the WWE. I'm not sure, but he still likes Sting. Pitfall, the Lion Adventure. Here's an ad for TSR role-playing games in a box. They packed an audio CD. These always fascinated me as a kid, too. I never understood them, but they were always cool. Stone protectors. The stone protectors were based off the troll dolls that were popular in the 90s. It was a cartoon, and they made a game based on the cartoon. Tiny Toons Wacky Sports Challenge. Aggressors of Dark Combat for the Neo Geo. Another fighting game. Neo Geo had a lot of them. Play It Loud ad campaign, and this one was for Super Pinball. Way of the Warrior. I remember playing this at a friend's house. Not a very good game, but I was interested in it. It was kind of cool at the time. The graphics were amazing for the 3DO. There's an ad for X-Band. Now you're playing for real. It's the online made your plug the modem into this device, put the game on top, and you can connect with people and play multiplayer with them over the internet. Barcode Battlers, I think. Barcode. Tiger Barcodes. Looks like I ripped out something there. It's a little piece of something. Alien versus Predator for the Jaguar. Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble for the Game Gear. A lot of Sonic games are on the Game Gear, and none of them were particularly standouts, but they didn't try. It wasn't for lack of trying. NHL 95, the best gets better, and you can see, look at that, great scores. The Genesis version was just amazing and had that blue ice that's so famous. It's an ad for Uncharted Waters New Horizon, a Koei strategy game. As a kid, I've just ignored the sports pages altogether. So part of this is like seeing these games for the first time, because I never really read the sports pages of GamePro. Wolverine Adamantium Rage. Robotrek. An RPG by Enix, so it got okay reviews. A bit too hard for a cart, undoubtedly meant to make a big splash in the fantasy gaming world. The water doesn't seem to travel all that far with this one. Lufia 2 never came to the Genesis, or Lufia never came to the Genesis. Kind of a cool ad. Slayer for the 3DO. Funny, I actually picked this game up for like $1 or so. Rap Jam Volume 1, and I never played it. It has LL Cool J, House of Pain, Queen Latifah, Warren G, Public Enemy, Coolio, Yo-Yo, Onyx, and Naughty by Nature in a basketball game. Wow. I guess they were going to make a Volume 2, but Volume 1 didn't sign that great. Mandingo Entertainment Incorporated. Motown Games. Liberty or Death for the Genesis. Uncharted Waters for the Genesis. Radical Rex. Contra, the Alien Wars for the Super Game Boy. I never knew of this game. Contra 4, one of the biggest action adventure games for the SNES. Don't you mean Contra 3? Is just now rocking its way onto the Game Boy. Contra fans will be happy with this scaled-down version. I didn't know Contra the Alien Wars was on the Game Boy. Interesting. Contra for the Game Boy is a real delight. Action-adventure games don't get much hotter. If you're looking to dust off your Game Boy, Contra is the reason. I'll have to look for that. It's funny, they couldn't use the Game Boy. They used it. This is an ad for rechargeable batteries I'm saying you can save. Your mom can save $190 on the $190 on the game. It costs $85, and they use a generic game console, portable game device. But it's funny that you can get portable systems that play SNES Nintendo games that look a lot like this now. Huh. Error the Acrobat 2. I'm actually looking for that game. Here's an ad for Ghoul School. Revolution X. You can get a clue. This is an ad for I don't know what this is, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week hotline for these these game developing companies. They will give you tips. Funko Land's white page of games and prices. See if I can pick out one here. Little Samson. You could order it at Funko Land back then for $18. I'm looking for that game, and that's I probably will never find it for a reasonable price. But back then, I could have got it for $18. But it's all hindsight. You didn't know. I was all into the Super Nintendo by then. Fighter's Edge strategy for Darkstalkers, the Night Warriors. Very similar ads to each month. You'll see the same ads. I'm not going to bother explaining a lot of them. Here's a Star Trek Generations game for Game Gear and Game Boy. It only came out on portables. Huh. Based on the Generations movie. How to use the new Entertainment Software Rating System, ESRB. This was a new thing after the whole mid-90s Mortal Kombat violent video game rating system was in, or video game hype was, or controversy was there. They came up with the ESRB, and here the early days they would explain to people about these ratings. It would go on to expand, but basically it's pretty much the same. Lufia 2 and the Fortress of Doom. These are GamePro holiday gift guides. This is the official player's guide for only $9.95. Nice. Peripherals, PDS Gamer, Genesis SNES 3DO, $250. Want some privacy for your video games? Playing even when the whole family's with you? Check out PDS Gamer, which gives you a TV right in front of your face. So it's basically like strapping on a mini TV right there in front of your face. Looks like VR, but it's not. It's just a screen inside there. I don't know anybody who ever had one of those. And at $250, that's quite a bit of money back then. Even today, $250 is not a small bit. Super Game Boy. Yeah, here's an ad. Somebody wrote in and says they want to use their Game Genie for the Game Boy on the Super Game Boy, but they never did release one. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventure is a great game for the Super Nintendo. Rolls all 3 of the Indiana Jones movies into one cartridge. Plays like the Super Star Wars series. Killer Instinct for the Ultra Arcade, or the arcade unit. If I recall correctly, the Ultra Arcade 64 was Nintendo's N64 hardware in an arcade unit, or similar to that, and Killer Instinct ran on it. Killer Instinct by Rare for Nintendo's Ultra 64 coin-op system should be arriving on your local arcades. And it looks killer. And killer looks killer. But it was very similar as to the N64 hardware that ran this game. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the 3DO. This was a good version of this game. I remember playing it at a friend's house, but he only had the 3-button default 3DO controller, so it was hard to play. You had to use the start button or the play button to switch between your punches and kicks. Snatcher for the Sega CD. I had no idea about this game, but it's very well sought after, I understand. Biker Mice from Mars. The Adventures of Batman and Robin. I want to get that game for the Super Nintendo. Tournament Time in Tokyo, an international view on video games. Take 5,000 Super Street Fighter 2 fans, 60 big screen color TVs with SNES consoles, 1 Rock Band, world premiere footage of the Street Fighter movie, put them all together, and you get Super Street Fighter 2 Championship 1994. This Japanese Street Fighter 2 tournament took place this past summer in Tokyo's Kokuginkan Stadium, the traditional site of the country's annual wrestling tournaments. Nintendo Power Fest winding up. Nintendo's national competition Power Fest 94 is set to come to a close when the dust settles. Nintendo expects that more than 500,000 gamers will have played the 3 Nintendo games in the contest at approximately 150 locations. More than 1 million in prizes are available, and winners in each city get an official Power Fest 94 jacket and an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to compete in the finals for the title of National Video Game Champion. The final contest will take place November 18th through 20th at SeaWorld in San Diego, California. The overall champ will take home a full entertainment system, $5,000, a car, and more. Nintendo released some stats from PowerFest Halfway Point, which shows that the highest cumulative scores are coming from America's smaller towns. The winner from Aberdeen, Washington, topped the list with 10,846,650 points, followed by gamers from Monroe, Wisconsin, Mattoon, Illinois, and Paramount, Colorado. Sega Catapult agree on modem. Catapult is on track to bring its $69 X-Band video game modem to the Genesis owners for the holiday, and Sega has agreed to provide Catapult with technical info to ensure compatibility with Genesis hardware and future software. As you read this story, the X-Band network is scheduled to launch in Atlanta, Dallas, Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco. The network enables players in different cities to compete against each other on such games as NBA Jam, Mortal Kombat 2, John Madden 95, and NHL Hockey 95. Turbo Zone Direct, the TurboGrafx ordering place. .3DO cuts price, goes on tour. Just for the holidays, Panasonic has cut the price of the .3DO interactive multimedia player to $399. The new price tag coincides with the release of some exciting software, including Capcom's Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Panasonic's own Burning Soldier. Order this Final Fantasy III Player's Guide. It is, how much is it? $12.95. Nintendo sues against counterfeiting. In an effort to curtail piracy, Nintendo has filed suit against Taiwan's largest chip manufacturer and its U.S. subsidiary. Nintendo sought a monetary award in preventative action against TSMC after chip manufactured by TSMC were found in counterfeit SNES, Super Famicom hardware, and game software sold in other countries. In a statement acknowledging Nintendo's suit, TSMC USA told GamePro that it's only a manufacturer of chips for its customers. As a result, it has no way of knowing whether the information contained on the chip violates patents held by other companies. So they're saying they only make the chips. They have no idea of what's going on the chips is in violation of a patent or copyright. So basically, Nintendo found a whole bunch of clone hardware in these knockoff systems in other countries, and they were made officially by TSMC, and they filed a suit against them. And TSMC is saying, we only make for these people. We don't know what's going on. We just make the chips. Accolade has announced some promotional... This is Bubsy the Bobcat Goes Mainstream. Accolade has announced some promotions revolving around the release of Bubsy 2, which appeared on Genesis and SNES this fall and is due for Game Boy and Super Game Boy in December. Each promotion features a $5 rebate on the purchase of Bubsy 2. Bubsy makes an appearance on Squeeze It fruit drinks throughout the end of the year, and General Mills is offering its rebate through June 1995. Bubby used a bazooka in Bubsy 2, and Kenner is introducing a Nerf bazooka with $300,000. Bubsy 2 rebate coupons. The promotion ends in January 1995. So basically, all these you can save money by buying some of $5 or so by buying these food products. And I remember Squeeze-Its. That's a blast. These Squeeze-It drinks. Sonic and Double Dragon go to video. Sonic and Double Dragon's Lee brothers are making the leap from video games to videotapes. Dick Toontime. Its latest video cassette release includes 3 different episodes. Nickelodeon Guts. Do you have it, Guts? Never played the game. And Beavis and Butthead for the Super Nintendo, Genesis, and Game Gear. Alright, everybody, and that concludes this GamePro issue. GamePro issue number 65, I believe, from December 1994. December 1994. As you can see, it was a very thick issue. Wow, this was a long video, but thanks for watching, and everybody take care, and bye.